Hey guys, how's it going? My name's Indolez and welcome back to Feed the Beast Infinity Expert Mode, Skyblock, words, all that fun stuff. Last time we made some really cool redstone dungeons, some redstone flowers. Let's see, what else did we do? We were working with hazardous materials. In fact, I have some, and let me tell you that I was right. I do it. I don't know which one it is. I think it's the 238. But if you hold this in your inventory and you don't have a hazmat suit on, you're going to suffer radiation, which is poison damage, which I believe can kill you for like a minute and a half. And it's quick poison damage, so don't do that. Don't do that. It's bad. So today, let's see, the sifting and all that fun stuff is still going on down here. These guys are doing okay with energy, not that well, so I'm actually going to turn off, kind of save some energy. We are going to be looking into a couple of things. First thing though, I have some common treasure. We got a knowledge fragment, that's cool. Those are useful. I want that redstone. I also killed a zombie and got these chain boots. Now these are really important now because they have soulbound on them, and that's going to come in handy later. We're going to want soulbound on most of our stuff. I need to remake these two machines. I have the machine frames, I just have to remake the stuff. And yeah, so the reason that we were doing things with the thermal centrifuge is kind of our next step is we're going to want to get a QED so that we can start making, we're going to start wanting to make the culinary generators, the higher tier culinary generators, starting with tier the times 8. The 64s would be nice, but that requires some bedrock, and that's going to be a bit off. We're actually not super far away. We're going to need to get plutonium for that, but yeah, the 64s are not going to be something we're going to be able to make soon, but we'll be able to make the times 8. We just need to have the transfer node energy, which is more or less just a bunch of redstone stuff. It's actually not that difficult, it's just kind of annoying to craft. We need to do like, it's a lot of redstone. So yeah, we're gonna want to get we're gonna want a lot of redstone for that, but we're also going to need a fair amount of ender pearls, because in order to make this you need a QED. It's the only thing you can make it in. So if we look at the QED, which name quail eating ducks, changes constantly. We're going to need double layer capacitor, which energetic alloy, do we have an alloy furnace? I don't think we do we? We're going to need to make an alloy furnace. No, we just have the sag mill. I don't know how bad the alloy furnace is. It's not terrible. The worst part is these advanced machine casings. Those are just annoying more than anything. But otherwise, that's doable. So we'll get to that point relatively soon. But we're gonna need the ender infused obsidian. We're gonna need a machine frame resonant, which requires enderium gears. Eventually we'll make this metal press. That's going to be super useful. Eyes of Ender. And then it also requires these Ender flux crystals, which basic gates are pretty easy to make. If you look at them, they're just they're just chipsets with some wires. These just have to be red, so that's pretty easy. The diamond etched computational matrix, just a bunch of diamonds. Some more ender infused obsidian, a bunch of that stuff. So it's not terrible to do. We only really need one to make anything. But we're going to need ender pearls, and I do wonder, I think the ender generator is disabled. Yeah, it's disabled. That's a bummer, but ender pearls are still very useful. Mostly because of Enderium. So where is, let's see. I don't know. Yeah, there's 46 pages of ender pearl stuff. And I do wonder, I want to see something. So I've never looked this. I want to see what the dimension editor costs. So this is of, that is really cheap. But what's the catch? What's the catch? Dimension tab. Those are cheap. The dimension inscriber is cheap. Dimension editor? Oh, okay. So if we can get a decent amount of power, that's the only thing holding us back from doing RF tools dimensions. There's got to be a catch. There's got to be something. I wonder if all the dimlets are like super boosted cost. I mean, liquid molten cobalt, that's expensive, but that's kind of expected. Ethanol is cheap. Wow. Okay, maybe not. Looks like some of the costs are boosted, but not really. Okay, well, we'll have to keep that in mind. So RF tools is not that unreachable right now. But today the main idea that we're going to be going with is we need to boost our jetpack. So we have this leadstone jetpack. It's good, don't get me wrong, but we need to one, get rid of the iron, and then we're going to be upgrading this to the Invar level. Now, how much Invar do we have right now? We're going to need a decent amount. We might have enough. So let's look at hardened jetpack. So this is what we're going to want to make. We're going to need a hardened flux capacitor, which is a leadstone flux capacitor. So we need 6 electrotine. Do we have that? Oh yeah. 6. That is something that we're gonna want to actually deal with here soon, because what was it that I was making with this? I know the solar panels take that stuff. Why? What is it? Oh, it's these photovoltaic cells. Yeah, these guys. So the fact that we have a bunch of those, that's great. We can make a bunch more solar panels. Which is gonna help. So we'll get to that later. But we're gonna need a lot more power. So let's get a jetpack. So we're gonna need 2 Invar, a tin, 2 copper, and a lead. So tin, 2 copper, lead, and let's just take all of this. That should be enough. So let's go ahead and make the capacitor. So it's copper, lead, electrotine, and what are we missing? Sulfur. I should have plenty of sulfur as well. Cool. So make that. We'll make the leadstone. It's 10 and 2 Invar. There's the harden. We might make the next tier. Depends how much Invar we have. We can always make some more. So let's see. We have, oh yeah, 1, 2, 3. Oh wow, I didn't mean to do that. So I'm so used to using storage doors. 9. Let's just take a stack. Let's make a couple blocks of metal. And a couple blocks of that. We will put this together and make our Invar block. So let's take a look at what else this takes. Requires some hardened thrusters. It's going to take redstone reception coils, so let's just grab all the redstone we have. We need 2 of these. And let's actually do hardened thrusters. So we need hardened flux ducts. That's going to require steel. I don't know that we have any steel right now. We have 1 piece of steel. That is not enough. But we can grab some coal dust, right? So if we look at this, the blast furnace, that's not what we have. We have thermal centrifuge. Wrong one. So 2 to 1. So I think I have enough. Is this running? No. Oh, that was the stuff downstairs. So let's get the pulverized coal. So yeah, one of the other things that we're going to be wanting to do, because we're going to be going to the end relatively soon, that is kind of the plan. That's why we're making a better jetpack and all that fun stuff. We're going to need a crossbow, and because there's not many crossbows in this mod pack, because extra Tinker's Constructs is removed, if we look at crossbows, we might do this a little bit later, but we're going to need, I looked through all of these and I think pink slime is the best, so that's what we're going to use. We're going to use pink slime for the bow. I need to look up what the body does. Otherwise, we'll probably make it out of something that has a decent amount of durability, so like manulin. Otherwise, we'll just make more pink slime, and then tough mining, probably obsidian, and flame string. That's going to be a challenge to get. We'll get to that later. And then the sword, we're also going to need manulin. We might get to start getting all that stuff together later this episode. We'll just see how long it takes us to make the hardened jetpack and potentially the next tier as well. So let's get some metal plates. We need, for this thruster, we also need a reactant dynamo, which is why I got these redstone chipsets. We're going to need 4. I believe we're going to need more. Reinforced jetpack, reinforced thruster. I believe we're going to need, we're going to need 4 gears, so we're going to need a lot of bronze. We don't have it. So it is tin and copper. I'm trying to think, actually, it's 3 to 1, isn't it? So we'll melt down some of this. Yeah, let's double check with the bronze. We are going to need a lot of electrum as well. But yeah, bronze is... let's see. Yep, 3 to 1. So if we want, let's see, 3 to 1 makes 4, I believe. So we want 36. Let's just do 9s. So we need a little bit more copper and a little bit more tin. We're just gonna make a bunch of bronze. Because why not? You know, let's do 1, 2. That'll be enough. And then we need 4 more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll get this stuff smelted up. So right there, put the invar, get that out. Put the bronze, or put the stuff back. So we're going to need this reactant dynamo. We're going to need silver, and we're going to need 4 silver. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully we have enough redstone. That's the only thing that's a concern. But I already made the redstone chipsets, so that's good. Once the tin is done... Oh my god, there's so much tin in there. We'll get some more Invar out. And the colors are the same, pretty much. So I think we only have one more block of Invar. So every little bit of copper that goes in there, I realize that I shouldn't have done it this way. I'm actually making too much. But we'll let that go. Let's go grab some lava. I'm just going to put that there. We have a decent amount of electrum, and electrum's a little bit easier just because it's a one-to-one with gold and silver. Silver doesn't have all that many uses, so there's not too much worry about that. So let's come up here. We're going to need to get... we have 12 bronze. Let's get a gear or a few. And then the next one we'll get a block. And then we'll make our first reactant dynamo. We're going to need 4 of these. Right? Because this, we need 2 thrusters and 2 of these thrusters, and each one takes 4. So there's 3 bronze gears. We're going to need more. It's fine. Won't be a problem. Let's also get some of this. So each reactant dynamo takes 2 bronze gears, so we're going to need 8 bronze gears. So there's 4, we're halfway there. Let's put more copper in there. So yeah, this is just going to be a process. Any bronze that's left after all of this, I will deal with later. Not that important. So making a bunch of bronze is not a bad idea anyways, so who cares? Let's get all of this bronze. There we go. So let's just block out as much more as we can. And as soon as I can put the last block of copper in, we will. And I'll make all the bronze that I need. And ever will need, to be perfectly honest. So here in a second, there we go. So I'm not going to worry about that for right now. We'll kind of deal with that as we need. So we'll do that, that. And something like this. And just the uranium now. So we need 4 pieces of uranium-238. I am wearing my hazmat suit, so I don't have to worry. And there we go. So I'm also going to take these metal plates. This will let us make the one things that we're going to need. The flux ducts, the hardened flux ducts. So put this all in here and get 4 reactant dynamos. So the thrusters, all we need to do now for these is make the hardened flux ducts, which requires 2 more. I forgot about that. I don't think I have any hardened flux ducts, do I? I have 1. But it also looked like I needed to make the one type, the normal, so we need the hardened glass, which I do have a piece of. So let's see, let's go ahead and get the redstone. I need 2. Right, yeah, we're not going to be able to make the next tier, but that'll make hardened flux ducts. And then I believe you can use these. One, they're used to craft a couple of things, but I believe you can also use them to... No. I thought you could make them opaque, but whatever. So once that's done, we'll be able to do a little bit more work with all that. So let's sleep. And yeah, so there's a few other things that we're going to need to do. We're going to need to get pink slime, which is a pain. And we're going to need to get manulin, which is also a pain. Those things we will deal with here in a minute, potentially. So we need to just get the hardened flux ducts. So refine, yeah, so definitely going to need more redstone. Refine iron plates. We get any yet? We have one. So let's get some more bronze out. One of these days I'm just going to make a ton of resources. I think that's going to be the best way to go about most of this map, is just whenever I can farm up resources. Power is by far the biggest issue, but if I can get the steel production back up and running and start growing some more trees and all that fun stuff, what I can start doing is we can make more solar panels. So these redstone solar panels, other than the redstone and the electrotine, which we have a decent amount of electrotine, these are not bad to make. So, and once we get like higher tiers, most of the stuff we can do already. In fact, we already have, and we might be able to get one of these really good solar panels. Generate 65,000 RF per tick. That might take a while because it's a lot. I think it's 65,000 of these materials, but if we can get to that, then our problems with power are going to be solved for a while, and I can start expanding lasers and all that kind of fun stuff. And that's what's taking the longest, is a lot of the stuff I need to do I really can't until I can expand. So let's get the thrusters. Let's get rid of the solar stuff again. We need 2 redstone, and cool. We should be pretty close. Let's just take all of it. We should be pretty close to the hardened jetpack. So 2 redstone. There's the thrusters. We do need just one more set of Invar. We'll do that. The energy cell, and then there we go. So we have the hardened jetpack. To make the armor, we need bronze, which is induction with the iron. I do want to do this because we're going to need to eventually anyways, so let's just go ahead and it's 10 bronze, we'll make that. So we have the hardened stuff. Now we're going to need to make one of these guys. Requires electrum to Invar 10. We're going to need 9 of the one things. The only thing is I don't think we have enough redstone to do much, so let's take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see, we need 10 lead, 2 copper, 2 Invar, 2 electrum, and we will need a diamond. That's the last thing. So yeah, this should be good enough to make the flux capacitor. So like that. 10 Invar, hardened, diamond, and electrum. So there is the redstone flux capacitor. And then we just need to make the reinforced stuff, and this is going to require 10. We need 20 redstone to do this, so that's going to be the problem. We also need more electrum. I do have some electrum, but let's take this just so it's easier. Let's lastly jump down here, turn that on. The rubber boots, by the way, is absorbing the fall damage. This seems to be working alright, I guess. And we do have the culinary generators. They were producing power for all this too as well, so hopefully we can get some more redstone this episode and we can make the next tier of jetpacks. So what's the armor for this? It's Invar. It's 10 Invar with the bronze. Let's go ahead and make that. So I do need another block of Invar. I'm going to need to make a bunch of Invar one of these days, but oh well. We'll deal with that when we get there. So let's go ahead and make the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 the Invar armor for the reinforced jetpack. And let's see, what can we do? We can make the redstone conductant coil. We can only make one of those, so no reason to do that yet. We're gonna need Erothium dust, which is blitz powder, blitz rods. There are a couple of different ways to do that, but the easiest is blitzes. However, biomes, they only spawn in certain biomes, and I'm not sure what biomes they spawn in. So that's something that's going to be a problem. And what else do we need for this? So Flux Electrum Blend, which is just more redstone on top of ground up electrum. That's not too bad. Signalium and hardened lumium glass. Okay, so that's all a pain. I don't think we'll be able to do that today. So we will put that away for now. Invar, put this stuff in here. We'll use the hardened flux ducts for this guy over here, because why not? We can at least start it like that. And leadstone flux duct. Actually, I'm going to replace the one. So let's put iron away. All this is alloys. We have 6 redstone, but we'll be able to do that probably next episode. So let's get some other things going and started. So we'll get back to the jetpacks later. Having all that stuff already made, though, is going to make my life a lot easier when we do need to make the stuff. I need to get lava up here. And let's put the reactant dynamo away as well. So, I guess the next thing I want to look at is let's make the redstone furnace again. And the pulverizer. So we have the machine frames. We need some copper gears. We need 4 copper gears, 4 redstone, 5 redstone bricks, 6 redstone. I think we have that. So boop. We're gonna need copper gears. So let's take out some tin. I think that's going to be the key. Let's also grab some lava. And we'll make this so we can get the steel production going again. The other thing that I want to do, which is going to require more redstone. Let's take a block of it out. Actually, let's take 2, maybe? I don't know. It doesn't matter too much. We'll take the tin out and then do one more. Yeah, that'll work. And then we will finish melting down the copper here in a second. Alright, perfect. That should give us at least a little bit of Let's take more tin. So we can get the copper gears. But, alright, so there's a couple of things we're going to need to set up. One, we need netherrack. Netherrack is impossible to get, though. Because, well, not impossible to get, but when I say impossible to get, I mean it is not easy to get for right now, because in order to get netherrack, the only recipe, I'll make the redstone furnace and the pulverizer off camera. Oh, hey, I just made a bunch of bronze. Okay, whatever. I will clean that up later. I must have miscounted. So we'll put that in here, and that'll be another thing to do later. So in order to make netherrack, there's only a few ways. So one is gravel and demonic blood. That's not fun. That's actually pretty annoying and difficult. Scrap boxes, which is scrap, which we could make a bunch of in a recycler, but we don't have that set up right now, and that's only a 3% chance. If we have mana and stuff, we could make more, but that's not very fun. Blood over gravel would make netherrack, but this is the recipe that we're going to probably use. A bucket of lava and some redstone to make netherrack. Not too difficult, but kind of annoying because it's going to take our redstone. And I don't have a stone barrel up here, do I? Oh yeah, I do. It's right there. So I fill it with lava. I put the stop. What was that? Hey, another soulbound item. And we have in here power 2, some emeralds. Cool. So we're gonna need more redstone. So I'm probably gonna work on the farm. We're gonna need to get a decent amount of redstone to begin with, so that we can get more stuff. So that we can crossbreed, get 10 and all that fun stuff. We can get a little bit of redstone right now. Probably not much. Yeah, it's just one piece right now. So netherrack is going to be how we get manulin. Now, there is a couple other problems. So one is, well, we need flame string. Flame string is the best way to get, the best usage for a bow. Crossbow is you just get some flame string and you're good to go. However, spiders aren't going to spawn unless we make a platform. I don't believe, so I want to make sure that, actually Natura might not be in this. Nope, I don't think it is, so never mind. We don't have to worry about that. We're going to be using just normal, let's get a stencil in there. And let's see how bad it is to make the crossbow stuff. So we're gonna need flames, the bowstring, and what can we use? String or enchanted fabric. So we're gonna use string. That's easy enough. All right, never mind. Most of this stuff is not. Not gonna really matter to us, just because I'm not entirely sure what this mod pack has sometimes. But we are going to want, can we get a slimy sapling? Yes, if we get green slime, which slime balls are a bit of a pain to get. We could fish for raw jellyfish, mucus combs. Yeah, it's not fun. The easiest way is going to be mana infusion, and that's not terrible other than this. Actually, most of the stuff is pretty terrible. So we're going to want to get into Britannia a little bit. Or we get some milk. That's right. So I can show that off real quick. Let's see. There is a couple secrets to this too. So if we place down just a barrel, we get a bucket of milk, put it there, and then I do believe we just grab some water. Not from that source, this source. And we come over here. Not that. Alright, let's F7 because this is gonna be dark. Alright, let's make sure things are well lit. I don't like darkness. Place that right there for right now. I do believe. Can I place this into the world? I can. It's milk added to a water barrel. It will start sliming. It will turn into slime. And that's important because here in a moment we'll get a slime. And we'll get slime in there. And we could do one or two things. We could right click it and get a little bit of I think it's just like a few slime balls. Or we could wait. We're gonna wait. It could take a while, so be warned, but what I want is a slimy sapling. It's gonna require green slime. It's a 4% drop rate, so we're gonna want a lot of slime. So I'll probably spend some time farming this. Among other things, I'll probably bring up some water over here. But yeah, so eventually this becomes slime. Now, if you just let it set, it can take a while, but you just let it set for a little bit. I actually want to try to repair my sword, I think. Let's see, iron. Hasn't done anything yet. It's still all bronze. I think I could just repair in here. Yes, great. Has it done it yet? No. Okay, give it enough time and it will do something kind of cool. So that's how we're going to get slimy saplings, because we're going to want these slimy leaves to make fletching out of. And there it is. So we have a slime. We have a nice big slime. But it's going to give us a lot of slime balls. So yeah, this is how I'm going to be doing things. It's a nice little trick, because usually you would just right click because it says slime. And you get like a few slime balls, not many. But if you wait, your patience is rewarded. So yeah, I will make these into a few congealed slime, and we'll just sift these manually and hope for a slimy sapling. If we can just get one slimy sapling, then we'll be set with slime forever. But it's going to take a while. So the other thing is it's also going to give us a chance to whoops, sorry about that. The screen probably went black for a second. I hit the Windows key. So we're also going to be able to upgrade our sword a little bit with that. So that is how we're going to get the fletching for the stuff. Again, netherrack is going to be a stone barrel filled with lava that we are then going to click with redstone. I guess I can show that a little bit. We have two. We're going to want another stone barrel, so let's grab some stone. And eventually I will automate this, but for right now, manually doing it is not going to be too bad. What I can always do actually is just something like this, and it'll fill up the barrel pretty quickly. And I right click, get netherrack, and repeat. So then the netherrack, netherrack is super useful because it's going to let you make, it's going to let you make infinite fires, and nether brick, that's going to be the best way to get nether brick for the time being. In fact, I think it's the only way to get nether brick. You can also do induction smelting with netherrack and soul sand, which will double your nether brick, but yeah, we've had to do this before, haven't we? Anyways, if you crush netherrack with your... Oh no, we need an actual hammer. 1 second. I should have a hammer up here. Don't I? Yes. Back to this. Alright, so if you crush this, you get the crushed netherrack, and then you can bring this back up here, sift it, and we got nothing. But crushed netherrack, you can get a couple different things. You can get ardite 10%, mithril, which is 3%, draconium 2%, and cobalt 10%. Now, endstone is similar. You can get 3% platinum and 7% draconium. Endstone's a little bit cheaper because it's glowstone. I have a lot of glowstone. So if we hop down here, glowstone and lava makes endstone, endstone crushed, and then we can come back up here and sift it. And this is going to be how we get draconium, at least at the beginning, for a few things, but unfortunately we're not getting much. So those 3 things are things I'm going to be farming in the near future. I don't know that we'll do that all before next episode. I'll probably do some slimes while I'm waiting for redstone, and I'm going to 10 some stuff, or at least start working on that. Specifically these 4 crops. Wow, I got like nothing out of those. So yeah, I think in the coming episodes we are going to start working towards some Botania stuff, and yeah, that will be fun. We'll start getting into Botania a little bit and go from there. So the other thing we need to do is make that's the thing I didn't talk about today. We also need to make pink slime, which requires a slaughterhouse. The ender, we're going to need dark steel for that. And dark steel, we could make an induction smelter, so I can do that. And electrical steel. Electrical steel, we can also make an induction smelter. So we can do that pretty much any time. We're just going to need 1 slaughterhouse. We're going to set it up over by the mob farm and kill mobs. Get pink slime, hopefully, and kind of go from there. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Eventually we're going to set up a nuclear reactor and all that fun stuff, but we'll get to there when we do. So I'm going to get steel production back up and running, work on getting some slimes, clean this guy out, and probably do some farming or just item stuff, and kind of, well, hopefully we'll be able to make the next tier of jetpack in the next episode and kind of go from there. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!